Welcome everybody to today's video. The purpose of this video is to go over the Genesis 2024 Hackathon. We have it up on screen. We're going to look at it from a 10,000 foot view here. We're going to go over it with the one and only Don Zuckerman. And as we go through, hopefully we can answer some of your questions. We're very excited about this year's Hackathon. We always get great submissions. Don, how are you feeling about this year's Hackathon and the Hackathon announcement so far?
I'm feeling great just in general about Genesis Live and Genesis Week. It's going to be an awesome year.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. We had the theme unveiled yesterday. Sparklet gives you wings. Today in game, everybody got dropped on their Block Explorer the Sparklet wing badge, and it looks amazing browsing some of those today. So there's a lot of excitement. I think it's going to be one of our biggest and most fun, most rewarding Genesis Weeks, Genesis Live events ever.
Yeah.
So real quick, I thought what we'd do is we'd start with the mission statement here for the hackathon. For those of you that maybe don't know what the hackathon is, every year at Genesis Week and Genesis Live in person, we have a hackathon event where players from the community and sometimes even from outside of the community develop and present ideas of games, of applications to develop inside of Upland on our layer 2. And that's what the hackathon is. This is this year's mission statement for the hackathon. With the introduction of Sparklet and the resurgence of the Web3 industry and blockchain gaming, Upland is offering a unique platform for projects looking to provide additional value to their community and establish their presence in the open metaverse. We all love to see Upland grow. And with that, we've asked players who are interested in joining the hackathon to leverage the Upland platform to develop tools to design a new offering, whether it's a service, game, or experience that will entice existing communities to join and actively engage in Upland. Don, is there anything that we're missing or that you want to clarify about the mission and the challenge itself?
I think it's pretty straightforward, and I think we've tied it up together with the concept of Sparklet gives you wings. And it's not just a word. At the end of the day, part of the reason for providing these types of decentralized asset is to make everything just more prone to growth and be able to attract external audiences. So you're going to see also in the theme, and this goes off, from the hackathon to kind of like our theme for Genesis Week. And also through the features that we're going to highlight, you're going to see how everything ties together with the ability for us to attract new audiences and, collectively and together with the community, grow Upland as a whole. So Upland, everybody knows Upland. I mean, everybody who's engaged with Upland knows there's a great infrastructure here. There's a great canvas to add new types of value and to expand it, without any limitations. And this is now our calling for everybody who's engaged with Upland to empower the whole platform by helping grow it with external audiences. And this is part of how we're looking at it through this lens of this hackathon.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's going to be exciting to see what players come up with, or hackathon participants come up with, rather. Now, this is the first year that we aren't actually requiring a working prototype for submissions. Why is that? What are we hoping to accomplish with that?
I think the biggest reason is to lower a bit the barrier of entry for people to participate in the hackathon and broadening it up, not just for developers. We've seen in the past, again, creating a prototype under such short timeframes is a very big burden, and that causes teams to focus most of their energy in that code production. Whereas this year we thought we would kind of like give more attention to the qualities of the ideas, of the business plans, of the way they utilize the Upland platform. And I think this will be a much more inclusive hackathon this year.
Yeah, and so one thing that we hit on here in the announcement, and again, if you haven't had a chance to go over the hackathon or the announcement, You can check the in-game announcement tab, in-game chat there, and make sure you go through and read it. Is the more detailed and polished your business plan here is, the more likely you are to be selected for the finalists. So make sure you put all your effort there. We've already actually received some submissions, and we've received submissions from around the world. So another reminder at this point, please make sure that your submission is in English as well. We have people from all over the world speaking all different kinds of languages, and we've already had a few come in different languages. Please submit in English. Makes it a lot easier for us. We don't speak all the languages. So
and I do encourage everybody, use the time that you have to polish, because at the end of the day, you're going to be competing against, many submissions. And to make it to the final 5, you'll need to stand out. And part of that is the quality of the submission itself. It's not just a fantastic idea. It's how you package it, how you present it, who are the team members that you incorporate. Take time. If you are lacking maybe a designer in your team, take time to find one and include them. This is going to be a big bonus. And this is just a small example. So don't jump the gun. Don't rush into submitting. Take your time. Polish your submission, and and use whatever advantage you can get.
Yeah. On that note, so we did list everything right here. You can see on the post of what needs to be in your plan. And one thing we included at the bottom here is a focus on visualization. What are we talking about, Idan, when we're asking players to focus here on visualization?
Yeah, so again, we kept it broad, on purpose, and the idea is to give the opportunity to the team to give some kind of an insight to what they envision it may kind of like their solution may look like. And this could be anything from a trailer, or maybe like a couple of screens from their offering, or anything imaginable that will help people that are watching the final pitch and the final idea get an understanding through visual components of what that solution aims to do and aims to solve. Keep in mind, whereas the Upland team will be selecting the finalists for this hackathon, the judges are not going to be just from the Upland team. So we're going to have judges that are going to listen to the pitches at Genesis Live, and they're going to contribute to the overall score. So you need to think, okay, I'm here, I'm pitching, I'm convincing somebody why my solution should be the winner. What kind of like a breakthrough did I make? What are my chances of making this solution actually into an actual product that gets integrated in Upland? So this is your chance to kind of like to have these 5-10 minutes to basically hit the judges with the solution. And visualization is a big part of it. If you can, give the impression for the judges what your solution looks like, it's a big advantage for you.
Yeah, showing it off versus describing it is always going to be superior, especially for judges who are judging this. Now, we do have one optional point here to include. Let's go over this because some players reading this or some participants reading this might have some questions. So the optional category is conceptual utilization of future API. Idan, what is that?
So I'd like to separate two things. There are two elements here which are part of our developer API roadmap, which have not yet been implemented. But when you think about your solution and your ideas, you can imagine that these are already there and you can make use of them. So the two important ones are, and again, they are super relevant for attracting external audiences. The first one is the ability for you as a developer to stake Spark of Uplanders that are connected to your solution towards anything that comes to mind in your solution. Okay, and again, we don't want to define what that is because that can be anything imaginable. And this is very big part of our strategy for expanding Sparklet beyond just the confines and the boundaries of Upland. So if you can imagine Sparklet as a resource for building or doing anything also outside of Upland via the third-party developer tools, now you can imagine how expensive Sparklet can become. So this is one option. And then the other thing is the ability. So, we've started seeing this today in Upland, where players can start connecting their MetaMask or other wallets into Upland, into their and kind of like connect them to the Upland account through the developer tools. As a developer, you will also be able to, of course, with the user's permission, you'll be able to query what's in their MetaMask. So if I'm, for example, a Bored Ape holder, in my MetaMask and I connect it to Upland, the developer can know now that as an Uplander, I hold Bored Apes. And then you can do whatever it is that you're doing with your solution with that information. So this is another big point in being able to attract Web3 communities into Upland just by knowing as an Uplander, what type of assets do you hold? And this is not limited, by the way, to just NFTs. It could be also fungible tokens, etc. So if I hold Solana, maybe I want to offer something for that specific type of users as part of my offering. So that's a second element that is laid out. But maybe the most important thing is that here, for the first time, we're also challenging all of the participants to imagine, don't let the current tools that are available in Upland limit your imagination. If you identify something that is solvable in a reasonable manner and is not exist yet in our APIs, please feel free to suggest it as an addition to the API and kind of like imagine that it's already implemented as part of your solution. We would give really big weight for anything that comes up that makes a lot of sense and we have not integrated into our roadmap. We think it's a big plus. So again, the point here is don't limit yourself by the existing tools that you have today in Upland's developer API. Just stretch your imagination as far as it can go. Everything obviously within reason. The APIs you need to understand that the APIs can technically be implemented. And if that's the case, feel free to use it in your solution and offer that as an addition to our developer APIs.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that covers most of the questions players would have as far as what to include here, particularly that optional thing there. Everybody remember, submissions do close Friday, May 10th. So we're about 7 days away from that. So get your submissions in before Friday, May 10th at 9 a.m. And then finalists will be informed after that. Let's take a look at the prizes here before we get out of here and just review some of these. So here is the prizes. For the first time this year, again, there's a kickoff grant. Then there's the MVP deployment bonus. That's phase 2. And then finally, the Sparklet grant program. Idan, can we talk about each one of these, what they are and what they mean for players?
Sure. So I think in recent years, we've had the prize distributed at the point of the hackathon. I think this year, what we want to do at the end of the day is, we're not. First of all, these hackathons are a lot of fun. There's a lot of great ideas. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is create the seeds that would later on translate into actual services and actual products that get integrated into Upland. And by the way, this is whether or not you win the hackathon. Oftentimes, players will get together, create an idea, and even if they don't win, they may want to push that idea forward. I think like a great example, I think, would be something like the Spark Exchange. I don't know if you remember, but I think in these guys made it to the finals in the first hackathon, if I recall correctly.
They did. Yes, that's correct.
They didn't win, but they went on to become probably one of the biggest third-party offering that we have today in Upland, which is fantastic. So these are the ideas. So the prize distribution concept here basically says that, okay, you won the hackathon, you get a kickoff grant so you can get started, but then only once you deploy your solution and integrate it with Upland, then you will get kind of like that the big chunk of the prize that is associated with winning the hackathon. And then the last phase is, again, if we refer back to the Sparklet white paper, there is a significant allocation in the white paper in our tokenomics for Sparklet for ecosystem grants, and these are meant exactly to fund different developers that would later on build and kind of like onboard into Upland as solutions. So once those grants and programs are being put in place, and that would be post a potential Sparklet launch outside of Upland, then those hackathon winners will get one of the first opportunities to pitch and try to be eligible for one of these grants. Cool. We do not have a timeline specifically for that yet, but they will get that right.
Yeah, for the Sparklet grant, no timeline. On the kickoff grant, we did see a couple players asking when they would, if you win, when is there a timeline for when they receive that kickoff grant?
Yeah, so there's no timeline on purpose, because that will be dependent on exactly the projects that get first and second place. Because again, depending on what exactly the solution or the service or the game is, we may have different types of timeline targets for the integration. But again, the idea at the end of the day is, to actually make progress with your solutions and actually have a working and functional, again, service, game, experience, whatever it is that you're building. Just make sure that it's delivered to Uplanders to enjoy and kind of like start using.
Excellent. Just to close things out here, one team or one representative from each of the teams that are selected for the finals will be flown to Genesis Week live in Vegas this year and will pitch their project in person. So we will inform you guys. Again, remember, don't forget those deadlines. Friday, May 10th is the deadline. We'll inform everybody, all our finalists, shortly after who is coming to Genesis Week to present. And again, focus on that visualization. Make sure you hit off all those checkpoints on the requirements that we provided here. And last but not least, if there are any questions that you have that maybe we haven't covered or that haven't been clarified for you, in game chat, we have a Sparklet channel. If you'll submit your hackathon questions there, Idan will be jumping in periodically between now and the deadline to answer those questions. So if you have any questions about the hackathon or your team has any questions, make sure you jump into the in-game chat in the Sparklet channel. We'll be monitoring it. We'll be looking at it, and we'll be jumping in to answer your questions there. I don't know about you, Idan. I'm super excited to see what players come up with. I'm really excited to see who submits. We've already got some submissions I've seen come through, and so far so good. But it's exciting to see the creativity, the way that people think, and what people can bring to the table here.
Yeah, it's amazing. Did you get already your ticket to Genesis Week, David?
I already got mine. Yeah, I got mine as soon as it dropped. I was like first one through the door. Did you wait? Are you going to be there? Did you get yours?
Let me think. Yeah,
it's going to be a good time. Really excited. Also, one thing we announced, everybody, if you haven't picked up your ticket to Genesis Week, we have an exclusive Telegram channel that all of our ticket holders will be invited to. Idan's going to be in there. Dirk's going to be in there. Some other members of the team are going to be in there. All the players attending are going to be in there. And we may be dropping some goodies. We may be dropping some behind the scenes stuff. So you will be sent an email shortly. Make sure you jump in and join us. Pick up your ticket to Genesis Week if you haven't yet. It's always a good time. And we'll see you guys at Genesis Week. Thank you very much, Idan. Appreciate it.
Thanks.